Welcome to the shop, a moto podcast with your host, Jake Lowry and Grayson Crum.
What's up, Grayson?
What's up?
Um,
Whoa.
that's my tribute,
To who?
Eddie, man. Tribute to Eddie.
Eddie who?
Okay. See, you're like not into.
I don't know what you're talking. Who's Eddie?
You're not into anything current event.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I'd stay away from all that.
Yeah, you don't watch Stranger Things.
No.
Okay, there you go.
I don't have time for that. I got more important
Well,
stuff to do.
all of our listeners who are actually into current event kind of stuff and
A TV show.
I mean, it's not just a TV show. It's a series that a lot of people really like. It's really good.
Sorry. I like to watch things I'm interested
Okay, that's my tribute to Eddie. Rest in peace, Eddie. Eddie gave his life. And Eddie was rocking that song.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
That's
Good.
so
Maybe like all these kids that don't know real rock, they heard that and they saw Eddie playing the electric guitar, and they're just like, "That is sick." Forget Young Dolph.
Don't disrespect
Do you
Dolph.
know who sings that? Plays that song?
Who?
The song that we just listened to.
Metallica.
Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Or did you just read on the computer?
I know who that is.
Okay, I was gonna say it would be pretty sad if you didn't.
Yeah. Welcome back to a podcast.
Oh, we're podcasting?
Yeah, welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back. We had an episode without you.
Oh yeah.
You were in the hospital with, you were having a baby.
I didn't have a baby. My wife had a baby.
I thought you were having the baby.
I'm a male. You know.
I don't know how that system works, but I just assumed babies like a fairy comes and drops a baby off, and
So you're still in the realm of like my kids of
Yeah.
you have no idea really how babies get here.
yeah, the fairy
Okay.
comes and drops them off, and you just had a lot of fairies drop a lot of babies off, and,
Yeah.
and you're taking them in. That's
Okay.
super nice of you.
Yeah, I was out a few days last week for it's been a week and a half.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks.
Week and a half.
2 weeks. She's 2 weeks old.
Oh, yeah.
No, not quite. Today's Wednesday. 2 weeks old tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess it's been exactly 2 weeks, because I did it the day she was born.
Yeah. So
Me and Jeremy Shaw.
yeah, if you didn't like that episode and you really don't want to see one with just Grayson ever again, please comment. Let us know that.
No.
Hey, drop in the DMs. So this is our first episode that's hopefully going to be live on YouTube. Do you want to wave to the YouTube fans?
No.
Hopefully, if we even have any.
I'm probably ugly and
Hopefully that works out and this actually makes it to YouTube. If not, our listeners will be like, yeah, man, technical difficulties again. So anyway, before we just get way off we have a guest for this episode, and
shall I introduce him while you're doing that?
yeah, go ahead, talk about him.
Man, I really don't. I mean, he's one of our buddies. I guess we have like a thing for Shaws. We have this Shaw. We have Jeremy Shaw from last week. Then we have Brandon Shaw, who we're getting on the phone. No relations. He's the PBMX owner,
It's not working.
father.
Can
Yeah.
you hear it? Hey, Brandon, can you hear us?
Yeah, man, I got you.
All right, awesome. You're live on Shop Moto Pod.
There we go. There
Oh.
we go.
Nice.
Yep. Finally, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. About time. About time.
Yep.
How's everything going today?
Uh,
Y'all slinging some KTMs?
no, actually,
Yeah.
well, we did sell one KTM and one beta, so kind of it's 50-50 right
Okay.
now.
There we go. All right. Well,
Yep.
good.
So 2 happy customers.
That's good, man. We're ready for a 65.
Yeah, well,
So we will be. We gotta get a head start on that clutch, man.
yeah, I got Bladen one, so he hasn't ridden it yet, but he's sat on it. And
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
he's ready. He's asked me about it. He's like, when am I gonna get to learn how to ride the 65? and he wanted to learn at the house, and I'm like, no, we're not gonna like tear up the yard and watch you like smash into the playset or something.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess we'll need a plethora of levers whenever that time comes. So I'm sure we'll be dumping it quite a bit. So how does he fit on there? Like, fit pretty good?
No, not good at all. he definitely probably won't be able to touch the ground for a little bit. So it'll be him taking off with his foot on the stand or something, and making sure somebody catches him when he comes to stop. So he was like hanging off the side of it and could kind of hold it up like that, but I don't see that lasting. Like I don't see like at the track him in gear being able to like stop and get off to the side and hold it up. Like he'll constantly fall over.
Styles was kind of like that.
Styles is still almost like that. So,
but I think Styles has the will to like not ask anybody for help.
Yeah.
I feel like Bladen's just gonna be like doing circles around the motorhome crying.
Yeah. They've been pit biking up the last since Sunday. Sunday they started we made some more trails at the house, and they've been every day riding pit bikes, and that helps Styles because his 110's the same size as a 65, and it's got a cable clutch, and the cable clutch is way harder than the hydraulic. So I feel like
so whenever it gets on that hydro clutch, that'd be good.
Yeah. So, but Bladen, his pit bike's a little TTR 50, so I didn't want you got to have something that they can actually handle in the backyard so I don't have to be back there constantly watching them. I just let them get out in the woods behind the house and rip it up, and I get my stuff done. So it's kind of like the babysitter.
Yeah, you just throw them out there and let them go.
Yep.
Yeah. We sat on one this past weekend at Boone Diggity. I was like, you know what? Let's see how he fits, on one. He rode a KX for, I don't know, like 50 yards once, and he was like, I'm ready for one. I was like, no, not yet, buddy. So so we sat on a gas up there, and because, he's all about red. That's why he likes the gas bike so much. So he'd sat on it and fits it surprisingly well. So he's kind of tall.
Yeah.
But
Bladen's a short little dude, so.
He's still young though, isn't he? He's
Yeah. He's AMA 6. He's got a good birthday. It's the end of January. But
my kind of birthday.
Yeah.
AMA.
But on those micro bars, his hands are so big that he's like, Dad, my fingers are touching right here. And I looked there, and basically, if he squeezes really hard on those micros, his fingers can almost touch his palm.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, he's so. Yeah. What's that? Where did he get the tall? Like, he's a big 6-year-old. I would consider that.
Yeah, because he's bigger than Bladen, and Bladen will be 8 in August.
Yeah,
So my wife is pretty tall. So I'm short. So I'm 5'7". She's 5'6". So that's why she can't wear tall shoes, or she's taller than me. So,
me and my wife had the same problem. I'm like 5'6.5", and she's probably 5'6".
So her dad is tall, and then all of that side of his family is tall. So that's where that comes from. My dad's a normal height guy, but I'm pretty short.
Yeah. Well, what's been happening in the Shaw family world other than racing? Is there some news that we need to break?
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's some news. So we weren't getting to ride much. We didn't, we had a track in Sheridan, Deer Creek, that let us come down there and ride some, but we heard that PBMX was closing, and Dad kind of jumped out on a limb there and purchased that. So we're the new owners of Pine Bluff Motocross, or now it'll be known as Pine Bluff Motocross Facility. So yeah, man, big deal.
It is a very big deal. What what made you just kind of decide to jump on the track? Just were y'all looking at one property to kind of start y'all's own before y'all heard of PBMX closing, or was it kind of just hey, it's already kind of the base is there. Let's try to grab it up while we can. It's kind of close to y'all.
Yeah, so I grew up racing there on 80s and stuff in the mid late 90s, and then we've always raced there. Obviously, I had a hiatus for, being gone in the military and doing all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's, we heard that RD was going to sell it, and it was looking like it was a good possibility of it turning into like a hunting lease. And my dad's like, man, we can't do that, because that's a big part of Arkansas Moto right there.
Mm-hmm.
And if that was gone, that's a big chunk of our of our riding potential gone. So he's like, I'm gonna step in and do something about it. So he's retired. He's got time to work on it. I don't, with my real job. So basically, I don't have any free days that I did have between work at my real job and traveling to and racing with Barrett are gone. Like I have no free time, period. So like, it's either at my real job, at the racetrack, or at the racetrack we own. So yeah, but it's cool. I mean, we all know it's a lot of work, but he likes it. He's been out there grinding away. He's made some big steps out there. Luckily, I think 2020, Vernon McKitty come in and did the rebuild, and you guys rode that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, like the base was there. It took a long time just to bush hog grass down, but the faces of the jumps are still intact. We're brushing up on them right now. Got a dozer out there. It should be down there. The dozer should be there today or tomorrow, but we got our water truck delivered finally yesterday. It came in out of Norman, Oklahoma, and had to put some side sprayers and everything on it, so it would be actually usable to spray the tops and sides of the jumps and everything. So
Yeah.
but yeah, just figuring out that mix right now. I mean, we've been to a bunch of legitimate races, a bunch of legit tracks, and we know the end product of what we want. It's just, how do we make that happen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just figuring out that right recipe of, how much do you want to rip it? How much do you want to till it? Like, how often do we need to water it? And it's, it's just going to be a little bit of a trial and error thing. But luckily, we've got quite a few people that are willing to help and, give some advice and some pointers and things of that nature.
It's kind of exciting to hear, because y'all aren't the type. It's not. Nobody should be scared of, like, if somebody was gonna buy it who just like kind of just does like farmland and type of that. Y'all been around enough to know like what's a good motocross track, what is gonna be good for this area and stuff, and kind of like we're all on the same page of how rough it needs to be to make Barrett better, to make that whole what is there.
Like the community.
Yeah.
The whole moto community.
I don't even know if there's a big moto. I don't even think there's a big moto community in Arkansas.
And it's like here,
Yeah.
there's not, but
But you'll
you
grow.
can build it.
Yeah. There's enough people.
Yeah. Well, kind of what we were thinking, in my philosophy of the whole thing was, like, if there were no basketball courts around, nobody would be playing basketball. Like, if you've got them, people will use them. Motocross track's the same way. Obviously, it's a little more difficult. You got to buy a bike, you got to buy stuff, but at least if you've got places to ride, people will ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I 100% agree with that, because that's like my main thing with here. We see the people that have interest because they come in the shop, they're buying bikes, but to keep those people that they might buy a bike and then in 2 years they're out and they're not riding anymore, because if it's really hard to go ride, or cost a lot of money just to go ride because you have no local tracks and you're having to travel 2-3 hours away just to go practice, people bounce and they're out. Or maybe they kind of sniff around to get into it, but there's no local track, so they're out. So yeah, like having it there where people can actually, come and watch, kind of get involved. That's, a track probably is the number one thing to actually build the moto community on a local level.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. That, tracks, places to ride, combined with good dealers, having a good dealership like you guys that know how to point customers in the right direction and kind of give them advice on what to do, and how to maintain a bike. If a bike obviously is getting maintained, incorrectly, then they're going to blow something up and just be out of it then too.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It takes both. Absolutely. But, it's cool. We've got, the prep on the main track going. We have actually access to a lot of sand because it's right there by the river. So, running a sand track in, and then we've got obviously a little kids track, like 50/Stasic track that we're actually gonna, if there's enough interest, have some Stasic, a spot for Stasics to ride, because those kind of seem like everybody's got those now.
Oh yeah.
And then we've got, just for training purposes, an oval. I know like Craig Albertson and them are huge on ovals at game. They spend a lot of time on ovals, and
yeah, I do a lot of that. I do a lot of circles, ovals, just like normal, like off-track drills and stuff at a lot of my classes too. Like just, it's a lot of fundamental stuff. But a lot of people they kind of forget about fundamentals because they're like, I just need my kid to pin it here or jump this jump or whatever. But, you have to have the fundamentals first before the kid ever gets to that point. So, and if you bypass a lot of the fundamentals, then, you're kind of going backwards because you create nothing but, problems. So I'm kind of on the same page with those guys on, having the oval and stuff and having an area, for people to, train and kind of work on little things like that at the local track is pretty cool too.
Yeah, we've got now we've got a corner track. It's all in the shade, far away from any trees, so there's not any roots, but it is still in the shade, and so we can get out there in the middle of the day and be, ripping corners, and so those are all things like when we have the Jake Lowry motocross camp down there, you'll be able to use all of those.
Dude, I'm ready. I was pumped because I've known for a little while what was going down, and I was pretty pumped that y'all were getting it just because we talk, not all the time, but often enough that I kind of know where you and your dad are on, how you think things should kind of go with it, and it's kind of in line with, my thoughts too. So I was pretty pumped just to see like, hey, this is, we can all work together to make it into something, and it's a little bit of a drive for us. It's not in our backyard, but like races and weekends that we want to have camps and stuff like that. Definitely, it's going to be cool to help build that community. I've got a pretty good bit of Arkansas friends and like current customers and stuff. So I've had a few of them reach out wanting to do classes and things like that. So if we can, get stuff going there, I think it'll be good.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And you guys we don't have a dealer over here. So you guys are basically Arkansas's KTM, Husqvarna, Gas, Beta dealer. So, it's just kind of, we're right there.
Yeah, not far. And, so it'll be a cool deal. I'm ready. I'm ready to see. I know it takes a little bit, I think, and I know you guys understand that, like, the first time you open, it's probably not going to just absolutely kill it. The first race is probably not going to just absolutely kill it. But over time, as long as everybody there was happy, and left happy, then it builds from there, and you just keep building your community and promoting, and, over time it gets to where, it can be established pretty well. So I think that was I liked RD. I knew RD from in the past when we raced together. So I think we kind of had like that relationship of like, I could probably tell him whatever and he's not going to get mad about it. He's going to listen to it and, take it in. But I know some other people who had some run-ins with him, and it was kind of like, hey, I don't know you. You don't really know what's going on, so you can not come back. And I don't think you can be like that as a track owner. You don't have enough. There's not enough people out there riding to run people off, so you kind of just have to, be as cordial as possible with everybody and try to, work through it. I mean, everybody's not going to like every track situation, or maybe something was scoring got messed up. But I think as long as you can talk to people and be just be cordial with them and explaining your side and listening to their side, I think you can. It's not hard to make people happy.
Yeah, I know that, and we all know we're not going to be able to make everybody happy. We're definitely going to try, but there's some people that you just can't please. Not that we're saying we're not going to try, but there's some people that are just not going to like what you're doing. So we're having our first organized practice on the 24th of this month. So we put it out, and some people are like, 15-minute sessions? Like, no, I'm not coming. I'm not driving 30 minutes for that. And it's like, well,
What?
hang on. Like, at least give it a shot. You won't just get one 15-minute practice and have to pull off, for the rest of the day. But
Yeah.
so it's just, it's hard to make everybody completely pleased.
Yeah, but like on that deal of it, like I guess they're probably used to showing up and none of the practices being separated, and they just go and ride whenever. But that's not how it. The way I look at stuff, even with at the shop, like that's not the way it was supposed to be. So like I try to use some of my maybe where I've made it in the sport of like, hey, like listen to me, like I'm not trying to just tell you that I know and you don't, but this is how it's supposed to be. Somebody else at some point got it off to the wrong way. So we were never supposed to have tracks that just opened up and it was just a free for all, because that's lawsuits, and that gives moto actually a really bad name, because the mom that would rather her kid play soccer, she shows up and it's a free for all, then she's like, yeah, like I don't want to do this, and so the right way is how you guys have it, where you've got practices broken down, so everybody has their specific practice to be in, so it's not unsafe and it's fair for everyone. I mean, like NIMS, for instance, we'll go there, and it's just a free-for-all. So the big bikes ride for 45 minutes, and then you get to pull them off for 15 minutes for the little bikes to ride. And before the little bikes, who would ride way longer than the big bikes normally because they just have more energy, there's some big bike guy trying to get out there and, run the little kids off because, he's just impatient, and most of those guys, I mean, Brandon, you probably know. I mean, how many of those guys ride for 15 minutes straight anyway? So
yeah.
I mean, even
like get out there.
Yeah.
Get out there and hammer you 15-minute moto.
Yeah.
Dude. Like,
Most aren't doing it. So, and it's kind of a thing. Like that's one of those things. I'm like, I don't really see how people complain about that. Like, you kind of need to look at like, okay, we see what they're doing. They want to split practices up. They're anticipating enough to have to split it up, and they want it to be safe. And I don't think you can bash tracks on trying to be safe first. I don't like when they're money first and safety's out the window, and they're just we're just worried about making money. We don't care about if people are safe or not. But when you're putting the safety part of it first, that to me it says a lot. And I think you'll always have your people that think that they should have more time on the track or whatnot, but those people are probably just saying that. They'll probably show up.
Yeah, hopefully so. But, I mean, heck, if that's not enough riding and you just ain't got to ride enough at the end of the day, man, holler at me. We'll let you out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
my kid will still be out there riding. He never gets tired.
Yeah, I mean, like, most people put an hour, maybe an hour and a half on their bike in a day. They're not putting, so that's the thing. And I guess maybe it's the guys that, they think they want to show up and, be there for 2 hours and that's it. And, and that's kind of a fantasy I think we all would like to have, is to show up at 8 o'clock and ride till 10 and be done. But it's normally not how it goes. So they kind of need to, I would say, get with reality a little bit on that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm just excited to have a place, that like, me and my dad can go ride with my kid and just have a spot where we can jam. He can get faster and finally get some seat time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just we really didn't. I know everybody says, well, we don't get to ride enough. We don't get to ride enough. But literally, I work in law enforcement. My wife's a nurse, and so when we got two other kids, Barrett would ride literally when we show up to go to the races. That
Yeah.
would be it. And on the weekend we weren't racing. Well, yeah, we would go ride at another local track, and that's it. But we kind of got with Ozzie Barbary and Dad and my wife after the regional, implosion, I would call it. And I was like, my wife was like, look, I'm like, he likes this. He's pretty decent at it. Like, let's make this happen. Like, I'm tired of losing. I was like, no, that's the attitude I want. So now we're kind of, everybody's on rotation of during the week, like, taking him down there and, letting him ride with a buddy, or, like going down there and getting him on the bike 3 times a week. So that would help. That'll help tremendously. And I'll tell you, like, we went to Boom Diggity this past weekend, and from regionals to this weekend, there was a massive difference. And that massive difference, I know, come from, like, us being out there on the oval with him and him just spending time out there on the bike. And, man, he's, like, trying to break a throttle cable on that Cobra now. Like,
Yeah.
It sounds like he is trying to just constantly blow that thing up. And entry speed's getting better. So, man, I'm pretty excited about it. So, he's, always wanting his buddies to go out there and ride. So it's going to be neat being able to grow up and for him to, have a spot to ride with his friends and just, have a good time out there.
Yeah. So, yeah, my kids don't ever get to ride, and that's the thing. Like, I want to try and get something here that's, same reason, so they can ride, more often. And I don't know if you know, but my dad had a track when I was growing up, and actually my dad and grandpa had a track, so it's kind of like the same situation. Dad and grandpa had the track, and I was the young kid growing up, and we had it. They had it on and off through the late 80s, early 90s. Then another guy had it for a couple years. Then my dad got it back after that. But we had it so pretty much from before I was born until I was 12, on a 65, and then my dad let it go. But I didn't really ever get to ride much there during the week because my dad worked so much. Like, we might in the summertime after his shop closed, we would run out there for a couple hours. But I didn't have I couldn't go during the week really and ride a bunch. But it wasn't, when I was growing up, that wasn't like a huge deal. Like, it wasn't a huge thing of people going and riding during the week. So it was more of just the weekend and, having a place local to go every weekend. And
Yeah.
but we raced a lot, and my dad just didn't have the help and the time to keep it going, so he let the lease run up on it, and it's history now. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So did your dad have the motorcycle shop back then too?
yeah, my dad's had a shop since '87. Yep.
Okay.
So
yeah.
so that's he's pretty much, this is, I don't know before he was 11 or 12, whenever he got into dirt bikes, what he did other than what normal kids do. But he, once he got the bug for dirt bikes, like, that's been all he ever has done. So and he kind of just passed it along to me, and passed it on down.
Yeah.
So and then you mentioned Ozzie earlier. I don't know if you know that me and Ozzie have been buddies since we were 6 years old probably. I remember going to Pine Bluff and racing there, like on a PW, and racing Ozzie. And anytime we would go to any area qualifiers, regionals, Loretta's, any big race, if Ozzie and his dad would be there, and we would talk to him because it was considered like he was local to us, even though we were 3 hours away. It was still we were local riding buddies, and it was kind of cool that we grew up going to a lot of the same stuff, went pro around the same time. And we even joked at the pro race that RD had there at Pine Bluff that we were we're plus 30 now racing here. Like, it's been, almost 30 years since we, since we've raced together at that track. And that's pretty cool. But yeah, me and Ozzie go way back. He's a good guy, him and his dad. I've known him for pretty much my whole life, I'd say, since 6 years old
Yeah,
to
Ozzy's a
now. It's
great
like,
dude. Yeah, he's a great dude. And he likes to, spend time with his son at the track. His son, Junior, he's got great form. He's going to be fast.
yeah.
So that dude's going to be.
Uh-oh.
Hung up.
Think we lost him.
I think he was cutting out, maybe getting some bad reception somewhere.
Yeah, not sure if it was us or him.
It should be.
We're going to hit him back. Yeah, technical difficulties are Grayson's.
Don't know
Hey,
how.
you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. But, yeah, well, so is there, back on the track, is there, like, plans to race and stuff? I mean, I know you guys probably do eventually want to race, but is that, like, something you're like, all right, we're going to practice for a year and then kind of look into that? Or is it something, like, y'all want to try and do pretty quick?
Yeah, so the goal right now, obviously, is just have some organized practice days, and then organize some camps with trainers such as yourself, and then kind of what's really kind of on the back burner at the moment is races. But we do want to have them. We do want to be a part of the state series, and we just want to make sure that we're everything's up to snuff, everything's right before we commit to, a date with the, state series or anything like that. We don't want it, to be a letdown. And really, I don't think it would be. We want to make sure everything's right. That's why we didn't really want to announce anything, or schedule anything until we knew that we had, equipment there. We had a good water truck, and, we don't want to let nobody down. So that's the big thing, making sure that everything is in order. But yeah, we do want to have races, and we're thinking that those organized practice days and everything will be able to kind of help us prepare to get there. And I will say that the gates need some work, so that'll be my next project.
Yeah, I think it was really cool when I saw. I guess you posted it, maybe, or I don't know who runs the social media stuff for the track, but y'all posted the picture of the water truck and all, and I'm like, it's pretty cool that
badass
like,
water truck.
well, yeah, like y'all recognize that what you need to spend the most money on is the water truck, and I think a lot of tracks like don't understand that. Like your biggest investment probably needs to be your water truck because it needs to work every time you're open, and it needs to work really well, especially where we live. So, you don't get rain every now and then. You don't get rain all the time, and it's always 100 degrees. You need it. You need to be able to water.
Yeah, for sure. And really having a backup is a great idea. So
Yeah.
got a water trailer, and we're totally on board with trying to find a backup water truck just in case. Like this one should be, knock on wood, very solid. It's a fairly new water truck. I mean, she's got air conditioning in them, so I mean that's if your water truck's got AC unit in it, then you're doing all right. So,
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we got that, and if we can have a backup, man, we'll be tickled. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing you can. If everything goes bad, you can always till something up with a smaller tractor. Prep it. It's a little bit slower, but you can either water or not. So that was the main focus.
Yeah, that's cool. I was pumped to see it.
So we're talking about racing, and so I'm already like on the promoter side of it. I have an idea. Here we go.
Okay.
So you've been in. We have like a group chat, Shot Moto Pod group chat. Mm-hmm. First race y'all have, I'm going to put $100 down on the pro class. 250 Pro Sport, 450 Pro Sport. I'm going to put $100 down. Whoever can out-hole shot Jake will get the $100. But say Jake gets the first hole shot, then it just rolls over to the next moto, and then we'll put like double or nothing on it. Like every moto, it rolls over, Jake gets a hole shot, and so like maybe in $100.
What if I don't ride Pro Sport?
You're gonna ride a pro sport.
What?
You're just doing.
What if-
Didn't just do a first lap, whatever. I'm putting
Okay,
you on
what
pro
if
sport.
there's like 10 guys there and I'm like 10th off the start? Do all not the 9 guys that beat me off the start get $100?
No, the dude who got the whole shot gets $100.
Okay, so only the guy that gets the whole shot.
Yeah, but if you get the whole shot, then it rolls over to the next moto, and then it's doubled. So then it'd be $200 for that whole shot. Then if it roll, then you get it again, rolls over to the third moto, $300 for a whole shot. You know,
Man, I like it.
shot, and
I like
we'll
it.
get like a whole big fake check. I don't know how you get those.
Why can't you find like somebody fast to do it with?
I don't know anybody as fast besides you. So, I mean, we can do that, or we can do like put them on like a 50 and make them race the 50s.
I'm not racing a 50. I'll race a 85.
We can no.
But,
85's
a 50's too small. I can't jump.
okay. Yeah, that's the point. Neither can they.
No, have you seen the 50
like a
class?
head-to-head Jake versus Barrett like showdown.
No, he beats me 100%.
Oh yes, for
No,
sure. On a 50,
Yeah, he jumps. He beats me 100%.
we'll do that. We'll do something like that. Put you on like a 110 then. See?
110. Yeah.
See, now we're close.
Now we're close on the 110.
Yeah, we can do something like
The
that.
65 is 65 is hard to control in like, you know.
But it's
I'm a
unfair.
little big on it. But the 85,
65 would be wild.
yeah, the 85
I know
though.
a 50 is sketchy.
Yeah, it's very.
I have jumped on one going to do an example for my boy. I'm like,
Yeah.
look, dude, here's how you need to come here. I'll show you. And so I get on it, man, and I mean, like, as soon as I'm, that thing's on the pipe and I'm headed towards this corner, I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, I'm going to wad up right here on the kid's bike in front of my kids. They'll never listen to anything I've got to say.
Yeah, so I've
But,
got I've got a good story about that. I was doing a class at a track that used to be open close to here called Field of Dreams, and the kid Noah Gagno that he used to come to all my classes and stuff I was pretty close to him and his dad and stuff. My dad kind of got him into riding and all, and I got on his 60KX 65, and I was gonna show the kids how to hit a rut because they were, all of them were goobing it up. So I get on it. Did I hit the rut perfect? But coming out, once it like really got on the power, my weight like was a little bit, was back a little bit, and just that much weight, like dude, it hooked up, dude, and looped her huge.
Larry Lou.
These are
Yeah.
kids. That's why you make sure your suspension works for you.
Exactly. That's why you can't be 130 on a 65 and come railing through a rut like this because, it's not gonna hold. And but no, 85 though.
No, that's
dude,
unfair.
I've gotten on an 85.
I
Do you
know.
remember when I got on it at Dan's? Were you
Yes.
there? And I jumped like everything. And Brandon, it was funny because my kids, it was my oldest boy's 85, and he had just started riding it, and they were out there watching, and I stopped, and I'm like, "What'd y'all think?" And they're like, "You're like as fast as Danger Boy." I'm like, "All right, I'm not that fast on it, but I'm sure I look pretty fast on it."
But we're gonna put you out there. It's gonna be like we're gonna make something out of it. I like the whole shot idea. Put the pressure
that's
on
cool.
you.
Like, but I think we could come up with a lot of cool ideas. Like I'm with Grayson. Like I've always wanted to promote a race, but none of the
Okay.
guys that are like track owners that in our area, I've never like had like a good relationship with them where I could be like, hey man, let me do some promoting and like come up with an idea on a race and just like you make the money, just let me like and they'd be like, okay, yeah. Cool. Like they're kind of all like have been, I've given them ideas of stuff and they're kind of just like, yeah, I'll think about
we're
it,
good.
and so with you guys, maybe we can like, come up with some, different one-off race stuff that, just to try to attract people, because I think that's like, with tracks now, it's like other than, your prep, because your prep gets a certain crowd, that's going to get your heavy racers. But everybody else, you've got to kind of think outside the box and have some different stuff to really like get people there. And another things.
Yeah, we'll do whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
my dad will probably wrestle a bear. Do whatever, man. Remember like Will Ferrell's character with the Flint Tropic, the
Yeah.
basketball team?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, so like, and one thing, like, if you need like, when it comes to race time and however long it is, like if you like need like whole shot awards or whatever, like I can reach out to the different companies. And I've offered this to other tracks and tell them, like, hey, let me know. And they just would never let you know. But most of the companies want, like, a flyer, like, ahead of time so they can, with their logos and stuff on it, so they see that, like, they are getting some kind of exposure out of it. But most of them will throw in, a bunch of, like, goodies to give away. And I'm not huge on, like, having to have something at the race. Like, I don't even care for I honestly don't even care for a trophy. I just want the track to be prepped good and it to be a well-ran event. Like, the rest of it I don't care about. But there's a lot of people that they want, like, good trophies, and they want, like, whole shot awards and maybe even prizes for, like, the top 3 and all these different little things. So there's a lot of people out there that, like, that actually makes a difference if they go to the track and the track gives back a little bit. So just some ideas on, like, little things that I hear people talking about.
I think that probably what we would, we're growing up and just getting, like, these big trophies for first and second place.
Yeah.
Even the local races, and you show up to the state championship race, which is always held at Pine Bluff. You'd walk out of there with, 5-foot tall trophies.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It was cool. Versus, I don't think my kid has ever gotten a trophy. He has stacks of these,
Plastic
plaques
plates.
and everything. So what do you guys think? We would probably we're leaning towards bringing back the trophies, but probably not giving out like 8 of them.
Yeah. So no,
class, you know what I mean?
I do hear a lot of the people that, like, they do are like, man, like, I think some the tracks and stuff think that people are okay with the little cheap plastic, little white plastic with a sticker stuck on it.
Yeah.
And, like, people like me, like, whatever, I don't care. But a lot of people do want an actual trophy. So I think, yeah, like, the bigger races, and you talk about, like, the big trophies. I remember same thing, like, growing up, my dad and them would have the Mississippi State Championship at their race. And, yeah, you would have these big trophies. Like, it was like, they tried to make it a big deal. And, if it's me having a track, I don't know how much y'all have looked into AMA stuff, but I would want to be AMA, and I would, because if you're an AMA state championship, you have a number 1 plate.
Yep.
You have an actual AMA recognized featured event AMA number 1 plate. And to me, that draws, like, dude, you're getting people from all the surrounding states because they want to come win an AMA featured event number 1 plate.
Yeah.
And, like,
Absolutely.
yeah, so I know it costs a little bit of money to be AMA, but there are perks that go with it. But yeah.
I think you just have to ask the majority. Like, would you rather go trophy to 8th place with little cheap trophies, like little
plaques, or would you rather go
to 3rd and get, like, actual big trophies?
Yeah.
You
well,
just have to ask.
to me, on a local level, like, I don't think you should go to 8 because, like, you might not have 8.
That was just a number.
But even to 5, like, it's kind of like top 3. You get on the podium, you get, like, and maybe you could have, like, little cheap stuff for, 4th and 5th. But, like, top 3, like, they really get something to show, like, hey, I was on the podium. I got this cool trophy. I've got some a King of the Hill trophy. When you would win the whole series, they gave massive trophies. Like, they're taller than me.
Yeah,
they're big.
Yeah.
And
so they're what, like 4 foot tall?
They're like 6 foot, Grayson. They're almost as tall as you, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So that's probably what we would end up doing is, like, having some legit stuff. And really, obviously you're gearing it towards kids, but you want to, if you get first, as a kid, like, wow, you're walking out here with this trophy as big as you are, versus having, just another little plaque that you're going to throw into the stack of plaques that you already have. But, that may not be, be everybody's cup of tea. Somebody that ran 6 may be mad they didn't get one, but we'll just learn as we go. That's all we can do there. But,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you were talking about the AMA thing. That is something that we do want to do. That's on the radar. Like I say, that would be down the road. But yeah, that's the goal. I know that, like, Alabama's state series is an AMA deal, and several others. So yeah, that would be. And you're right. I think it draws a bigger crowd.
Yeah, it's just there's. I think it gives some legitimacy to it. And my opinion, like, I think, and it's hard, I know some people don't like this, but I think every track should be AMA, just because of having to like to keep up with, this guy's been racing for 3 years, but he's still riding the C class. Like if every track's AMA, well then you don't have that. You get a
Right.
better point system of moving people up. You get more consistency because it's going to be the same classes. You get consistent rules, so it's not like, well, I went to the arena cross last weekend and my kid's 9, he can race the 50 class, but then I came here and you're telling me I can't because he's 9 and your class is only 7 to 8, but at the arena cross I could, and they don't understand that, it's just all these different, we have all these different rules, and if it was all one sanctioning body, then it's consistent. And I get that from BMX because I used to race BMX, and everything BMX is USA BMX, every track in the country. So there is no like, their point systems kept up with. If you win, they might have changed it now, but when I was growing up, if you won 6 times, they didn't have beginner. You were novice from first. But if you won 6 times in the novice class, you had to move up to intermediate. It didn't matter if you won 6 times at your local track or if your 6th win was the national. Like that was, if you won 6 times, you had to move up, and it just, that moved up people more frequent, and it kept people being able to, have having that competitive edge, because like they
Sure.
weren't always, well, I'm always 10th because, these guys in front of me have been racing way longer, always beat me because they won't move up to the next class, and it's, and as a track owner, just being like, hey man, you got to move up because you're too fast. Like that just doesn't really work. So,
Right.
and, having the backing there to help, but, I don't know that everybody will get on board with that, but that's just my opinion on it.
It's something.
I like it. I mean, I like it. And, when you run the Texas Winter Series and, a couple other different races, just for example, you have an 8-year-old kid coming through there on a P-dub with his kneecaps over the top of the handlebars.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
But, talk about the Winter Series. We met so many people. Everybody's like, well, there's just not that big of a base for riders in Arkansas or Mississippi or whatever. And I'm like, we race with people from Illinois and Colorado all the time in Texas. It's like the folks from up north are having to drive through Arkansas to get to Texas. It's like they'll stop, I mean,
yeah. No,
so you just make it a draw.
Yeah, to me, it's not like a, well, you got to be here or it's not going to work. To me, it's you just have to build it and show people and make something people want to come to. It doesn't matter necessarily where you're located. People will drive to you if it's worth driving to. And to me, if you start having bigger events and people are coming, that just grows your local base, because then it's people want to get involved more with it, Maybe they've never raced outside of Arkansas and they've never seen a big race, and you have one big one, they come to it and they're like, oh wow, this is what they're talking about. So then they kind of, they get more involved, and it just grows from there. And that's with, like, if you have a track that is good enough to produce kids that can make it to the next level, I feel like that is intriguing to others that are like, well, I knew him and he made it to that level, so I can make it to that level. They get that where they can relate to it more versus like, well, that kid lives in California and I just see him on TV, so you can't really relate to it. But if you have the kid that, lives 2 towns over and goes to the local track and, he's qualifying for Loretta's and getting top 10s and stuff, then, your other local kids are like, well, he can do it, so can I. And it kind of rubs off. But if you're not an area that's producing guys, then, then I feel like people lose interest just because it's, it's not reality to them.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. They just kind of feel so, like it's so out of their grasp or out of their realm of possibility to do it.
Exactly. Yep. So, I mean, I grew up in a time where I don't remember us having, we had Kevin Windham, but I don't remember like having any other guys that I would say that we looked at that were like, oh, well, they made it. Like but, we all liked going riding and racing. And I had friends that, were my same level that we pushed. And, we all made, to the professional level. And I feel like maybe some of the kids behind us could have could see that and kind of could push to that, which none of them from Mississippi ever stuck with it long enough to do that. But if you come North Mississippi, Memphis area, Mid-South, I mean, you had, Josh Cartwright came from here. Casey Cochran, I would say, came from here because Casey was winning titles at Loretta's, still living in Memphis. So before they had went to a training facility. Kinsey has always lived here, and look how good she is for a girl. She's one of the best in the country.
Very fast.
And so the areas can produce, but I feel like it. You got to have the tracks for it, and then you got to have the people that can kind of guide the youth, into it. You can't just it rarely does it just happen, just based off the one kid and his dad. You got to have a lot of, you got to have a community pretty much to make it happen. And we lose a lot. We get a lot of kids that are fast and good, and they move. Casey moved from the Mid-South area because, it was not super good here. And they moved to a training facility so they could ride every day on something that would, make him to what he's into today. And same with Cartwright. He won Loretta's, and he had made a deal with his dad that, he wanted to go to GPF and live down there. And because he won Loretta's, he kind of got to do that deal. And, you get to a point where your local riding sometimes is only going to take you so far, and you have to move off to continue to grow. And unfortunately, in our area, these kids can't even make Loretta's, so they're having to move off just to be a Loretta's speed kid. And we need to change that. And it's, it feels like kind of we're the only ones that, sometimes want to have the ideas to change it. So I'm glad you guys got it and kind of make a step towards that a little bit.
Yeah, we're trying, man. If nothing else, we'll at least get out there and have some fun. So get you and Grayson out there, and we can get out there and ride for a weekend.
Yeah, hey, that's the cool thing about moto is if you don't succeed in moto, at least you had a lot of fun failing.
For sure. Yeah.
Because I know some people, you hear people that they played baseball or football or whatever for so long through their, and they don't play the sport anymore. They get out of, high school, college, whatever level they make it to, and they don't play it anymore. And they might watch it a little, but they just don't have the love for it. But moto, you can be a guy like me who, you made the pro level, but, you failed at it, but you still have this huge love for it of wanting to still do it and want to see other people succeed at doing it. And so it's one of those things that's a little different where you can get that. So it is one of the things where no matter if you fail or not, at least you're having a lot of fun when you did it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I love it. I'm glad that my kid, I knew that he was going to ride. When I knew that it was going to be a boy, I was like, well, he's going to ride. I'm not saying he's going to be, love it or anything, but he's at least going to be introduced to it.
Yeah, same here.
If he likes it, that's cool. If he don't like it, okay, cool, but he's going to be introduced to it. And so now, if I'm out there working on something in the shop, which is all the time, then he's out there with me. He's on one of his other bikes, doing something or trying to, use a screwdriver to work on a foot peg for no reason. And just, he's out there tinkering on them. And so that's cool, out there making dirt bike noises and just doing his thing. So he likes it. He loves riding with his buddies. And man, I just want, if you love something, if you really like it, you really, that's all you think about, then you're going to be good at it. I don't think that Eli Tomac or any of those dudes would be where they were if they didn't love it. Obviously they're going to get stressed out. They're going to get overworked. They're going to get burned out. But at some point in time when they were kids, this is all they wanted to do. So I don't think that you can be great at anything if you don't absolutely love it. So, but conversely, there's tons of people that love it that, not going to be any good at it. And I was one of those. So, but either way, it's cool, man. And it's one of those things that I hope he always likes. And hopefully, if he has a kid that, his kids do it. And that's something that they enjoy spending time together doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Same here with mine. I, knew they would always ride, and, I would love them to be fast. None of them are fast, but
yeah.
I feel like they, especially my oldest has a lot of good form and stuff. And I'm kind of the one where, maybe things will click, things will change, things will come. But if not, as long as he likes riding, which he still does, they ask to ride all the time. As long as they still enjoy riding and, they grow up, with the love of the sport, whether they, work in the industry or not or, whatever. But as long as, like, when I'm, 50, 55 or whatever and still want to ride and I have 3 extra riding buddies, then that's like, that was a win for me, whether they end up being fast or not. Like, as long as they always want to ride with Dad, and us go and have a good time on the weekend. That's kind of all it's about.
Absolutely. I just it's funny seeing my kid out there on a 50 riding with my dad on his
Dude,
beta,
Hey,
they're just out there riding around, and my son will just OJ everything, just trying to stay out in front of Grandpa. He ain't gonna let him around.
Yeah.
And when I'm out there riding with him on the old Suzuki, man, I'm just out there and I'm having fun because I'm just watching him. Because I can tell, like, all he wants to do is just he wants to beat me, and it's you can tell he's having a good time with it, man. I have a good time with it.
Yeah. So like
he's getting faster. His forms always look good, but man, just something will click one day, and if it don't, then hey, it don't. But
yeah,
we'll have a good time until then.
My dad still rides too, so it's kind of cool to see, the kids ride, he ride, all 3 generations ride and stuff's pretty cool. And, my middle boy Styles rode Loretta's in 18, and I raced Loretta's in 18 too. So I think that was pretty cool because me and my dad did that. I'm not sure what years. I'd have to ask my dad because I can't remember the years he went. But, for me and my dad to race Loretta's the same year, and then now me and one of my kids to race Loretta's the same year, like, it's that kind of stuff's cool, and whether you do good or not, like, just those sharing those memories and stuff together and like keeping the generation of riders going and stuff, like that's like really cool. So, and it's it's cool that Grandpa still rides, Dad still rides, the kid rides, like, because you don't see that all the time. So I like to see that because then it's like somebody did the right thing with that group of like keeping them interested in moto the whole time, and it was never negative stuff. So if we could get that with everybody, we'd have a lot of people riding if everybody stuck with it.
A lot.
Yeah,
Yep.
That would be great.
Yep.
How many times did you go to Loretta's, Dick?
I've been 11 times. So
11 times. That's it, huh?
Yep, that's it. Just 11. It's I like to brag with Grayson. That's the most of anybody from Mississippi. So John Murray Barr's been 10. So John Murray decides to pull the old steed out again and go because he went last year, but he didn't go. He's not going this year. So I need to go some more so I can keep that number going, so I can keep that keep the record. But
Grayson's streak starts next year.
I hope, dude. Hey, like, I have a bunch of people that I have some dads that have kids that are fast, and they watch Grayson ride, and they're like, dude, he's like fundamentally
His
and stuff,
form looks great.
like, he's really good. There, a lot of them are like, dude, like, Grayson's way better than he gives himself credit for, and way better than like sometimes he rides. Like sometimes it's mental for him, and
I'm just doing it for pictures, dude. Like, I just want good. I'm good form, so when in case anybody takes a picture, it looks good.
Well, he made some gains at the last regional he went to. He had some, he increased his lap times. His fastest lap time of the whole weekend was his very last lap of the very last moto he did. And like, to me, like, you're always growing, when you see stuff like that. And I think he got to see some kids that were in front of him that, not far in front of him that maybe I think he thought were way faster than him, that maybe he sees that they're really not faster than him. And so we got to get some confidence going. We got to get on a little bit better training program, and that's not just him, that's me too. And but yeah, he's got a chance. We got to work on some stuff.
We'll get there when it's time. we'll race around when it's time.
It's just little things. Probably, nothing major, just a bunch of little things, and just got to clean it up.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's it. But yeah, well, hey, it's been good having you on. We've had you on for a little over an hour, so I don't want you to get fired or anything, or
Yeah, his job is a little more important than ours.
Yeah, it is a lot more important.
We need a shop banner at PBMX.
Yeah.
Those.
We need to. We had a Husqvarna banner somewhere around here.
Right there.
Where? Is it right there?
Yeah, that's it.
That's like the cloth stuff. Well, like if you guys have events, like we'll for sure like come over there and like set up and bring all the canopies and the whole setup and everything and
Next weekend for
do
sure.
that. Yeah, I don't know that I'll be able to make
You guys
next
gonna be able
weekend.
to make it? It's pretty late notice putting it out there.
Well, my thing
that's
is I have a 2-week-old baby at home, and my wife might not be like.
Bring that baby.
Yeah, well, I would, but my wife might not be super thrilled on like us going anywhere right this minute. So I'm kind of waiting on her to be like, like us go do some stuff and start getting out. And then once I know like we're getting out doing stuff, then I can be like, all right, hey, let's take the motor home and go somewhere for the weekend and so kind of letting that be on her time. So I don't know that I can swing it, but Grayson had talked about that he was going to try and go for sure.
Oh, I'm guaranteed. I'm gonna be the first one on the track. I'll be there like 6 in the morning walking it. Just getting ready for my long.
Holler at me, man. We'll put you in the water truck.
Oh, dude, with the AC in it, yeah, I could do that.
AC, fuzzy dice, tinted windows. We got the whole nine.
Sounds like
That's right up Grayson's alley there, the fuzzy dice.
yeah.
All right, cool. Well, it was good having you on. And like we said, we'll help. We'll share. We try to share all your stuff anyway, and
Thanks, man.
we'll try to
Yeah,
keep
much
doing that,
appreciated.
and talk it up as much as we can. Get some people coming there, and hopefully help get some big crowds. I've always enjoyed the place. It's I'm not from Arkansas, but when you go somewhere, on a PW and the track's still there, like it is like it does say something. It is there, so I've got some history there, and it's cool to see it back. I was kind of sad to see that RD had let it go and it was going to be gone, but then
Yeah,
when
we were too, man.
yeah, so it's cool that you guys got it, and I can't wait.
You
for
guys
it to-
are honorary Arkansans, and y'all can come over whenever.
We're close enough. I mean, we're literally 30 minutes from the
Yeah.
river, so it's not that far.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. Good talking to y'all.
Yep,
Yes, sir.
Good talking to you.
Thank you.
Yep, see ya.
All right. Bye.
All right, guys.
Brandon Shaw.
Yep. So Brandon and David Shaw are the new owners, Pine Bluff Motocross Facility. I gotta get that right.
Yeah.
I can't wait, dude. Like he told me, like it's been a little bit ago. He's like, yeah, get some we'll have some camps and stuff, and I'm like, dude, that's because I know they'll prep it right,
Yeah.
and like so people that are for our listeners that are that do listen and keep up with stuff. I don't do a bunch of schools a lot right now, and it's not because I don't want to do them. I wish I could do them every day, but I don't feel it's worth people's money, and I feel guilty taking people's money when I don't feel like I can teach the kids what they need because it's hard packed and dusty.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind to just take your money. I want to make sure the kids are getting they're
Quality.
actually getting something out of it. They're learning. They're getting a quality training session out of it. And when the tracks aren't watered and prepped like they need to be, you don't get that. And
Yeah.
I know they'll do that. And so I'm pretty pumped to be able to dude, I've been wanting to have 3-day camps for like what you came to. Me and you are buddies because of me having a camp and you coming to it. And it's been a long time ago, but I'm I really want to get back to doing them a lot more and knowing now that we'll have a track that's not 4 or 5 hours away, because literally that's what the options were. That's going to be really cool. And then also, I was enjoying it. We were going to their races, we went to 3 or 4 races over there.
Every time,
I don't think we missed one.
I only missed one,
Yeah,
and
and,
that was the same one.
There was the one Wade went to, Oliver.
And McQueen went to.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only one I
And,
missed. And so
But I was enjoying 2.5-hour drive or so.
Wasn't
It's
bad.
not far miles wise, so it doesn't take a bunch of gas in the RV. You go over there, there's some shade there, it's a cool just a cool atmosphere, and it seemed like pretty decent crowds every time we went. They weren't terrible. I mean, they were decent.
Yeah.
And so that kind of stuff I'm excited for it to come back because there's potential there.
Yeah.
There's we like the owners. We know that they're going to try their hardest. We know they're doing the right things and always going to try to do the right things. And there's a lot of potential. So it's like exciting to see the potential, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
Excited for them.
I think it's pretty cool. I like anytime you get like it's not a new track, but new owners who we know. It's kind of like when Back 40 opened up.
Yeah,
we knew it was going to be.
We knew what it would be, and we were excited about it.
Yes, and our expectations are still.
It's still just as good. They don't open quite as much as I think people maybe hoped they were going to open.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of hard when they both have full time.
They have jobs.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
saying
it's,
that.
yeah,
but I'm not saying that I want them to open more. I'm saying I think some people thought they would, open a little more, and they haven't raced yet, but they are about to, and they're in a good series. Mm-hmm. So like I can't wait. Like I hope that I can make a couple of the 2 races that they have, because it's going to be another month or 2 I think before they have a round.
September 5th.
Okay, yeah.
And then October sometime.
Yeah,
October.
so hopefully I can make the September one. I saw they put their gate in and all.
Yeah.
Like, and so like that's okay. So there's a racetrack 2.5 hours from us. Pine Bluff, another one. Like if we can start getting some racetracks within 3 hours of us, then dude, then that just like you have options to go places. It kind of builds a little bit more. Then we just got to work on a track here, because I feel like if you have a track local and then you have a handful that are 2 to 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Like that's really when your community starts to really get going.
Yeah, because then you can spread it.
You can spread it around. The tracks can start working together. You can start having.
I wonder how far it is from Memphis. I need to ask.
Pine Bluff?
Yeah, I need to ask.
Oh, it's close because you can go 40 and then cut down. It's probably. I bet it's 2 hours or maybe less. It's not. It's further for us, not because if it was interstate for us the whole way, it would be less than 2 hours. But just the way you have to go through all the back roads, it ends up being like somewhere between 2.5 to 3.
Yeah.
But so I would think it's probably less than 2.
So that's good, because then.
Well, yeah, I mean you can get all the Memphis crew and that's my thing. Like when we would go into all those races, Mitch would go, Baldwin would go.
Yeah.
But that was really like it. And I know Oliver was out not because of the track, but because of the owner. But hey, Oliver, I don't think you listen, but these are good dudes. Like you'll like these guys. These are good dudes. And the best thing about it, they're avid and long-time Shop Moto Pod listeners.
That's how we met. That's
how we met them.
Yeah.
Well, no.
That's how I met David.
That's
how I met David.
Bladen and Barrett would battle it out at Pine Bluff on PWs, dude. I'm talking about Bladen would always get the whole shot, and then Barrett would just stalk him, dude, and just stalk him and get him on the last lap, like almost every time we went there. And dude, it was so cool watching those 2 kids though, like because they were just like, I mean, just right out on each other, tooth and nail, just back, And I like that because Bladen needs that, and I'm sure Barrett needed that. Like it was cool, and I think Barrett. Well, the last time we raced with him was at the regional, not this year, but the year before at Freestone. And Barrett rode way better than Bladen did. Bladen just, mentally, I think he just wasn't prepared for that. And Barrett was, not way off. He got in Loretta's from that one. Yeah. And I wish Bladen would have, because I know what he can, where he could be compared to him. But that's when, I met, knew who they were. And then they started listening to the podcast because I think they saw me at the track and kind of got the relationship going. So
yeah, I remember talking to him the second time we went.
Yeah,
when it was cold, I had to go back to back. My race was like 1, or it was like 3.
You had like 1 in between or something.
Yeah,
like that.
And I had to ride back to, and some I can say it because some old guy was like, "Man, you just raced, you come back," and I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, that's pretty cool. I'll hold your bike for you." And he held my bike kind of thing. He's like, "I think you're from the podcast Shop Moto." And I'm like, "No way you listen to that." He's like, "Yeah, I saw it, and I'm here with my grandson, whatever." And then I talked to him, and then it didn't click until I think he came. Then we started talking. Then I'm like, "Oh, you're the guy I talked to." And so
that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's cool that they're they're a cool family. They're good customers here, and they're good. They're listeners. They're good for the Arkansas community, and they've met a lot of the Arkansas people I know that have been in it forever. That are the good people of that to keep this to get this thing going.
Yeah.
And Arkansas Moto's kind of going to maybe start getting something going on with, getting another, they've got some tracks, but getting one that could potentially be really good,
Yeah.
So we just need Grayson to hit the lottery so Mississippi can get theirs.
Dude, I'm buying tickets. Trying. If y'all know when if I ever hit the lottery,
You're not going to be worth anything.
Really?
Will you still train? Will you still try to make Loretta's and train, or are you just going to be on?
No, I'm gonna be full blown, all in.
Okay.
Like
Am I the
bike,
trainer that you pay your millions to?
No, new bike every month.
Okay, so where are you going?
I don't know. Me and McQueen will go somewhere.
All right, this episode's over. All right, no, it is actually probably over. So.
Yeah, probably.
Yep, we've been long enough. Like, subscribe, share. If you're on YouTube over here, if this actually works, we need subscribers. We need 1,000 subscribers so we can start making money. So
Why is it all about money for you?
do you want to do this full time,
I don't-
Meathead?
I don't know what to do with my hand.
If somehow Pulp listens to this, we'll do a wrap-up show and take Darkside's spot. We're cool. We'll do it. All right?
Right.
And you still don't know what to do with your hands? Put them in your pants. All right. Well, we're out. Leave us some comments. Tell us what you want to hear. Drop in the DMs. Leave us comments if the whole YouTube thing works. But, yep. Peace out. We're
See ya.
gone.